Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our live session. Very great Saturday morning. We're so happy you all could be with us on this Saturday morning. I would like to welcome Ms. Zeenat. Ms. Zeenat is a part of Ms. Zeenat Bandukwala is a part of Beyond School Spoken English Communication. And we all know communication plays such a vital role in today's world, in the 21st century that we live. If I'm going to quote the very famous Ralph Emerson, all great speakers were bad speakers at first. So we have Ms. Zeenat here to help us out, to help all our kids out, to go in bridge the gap from being bad speakers to being good speakers. Ms. Zeenat Bandukwala, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Good morning, parents. Like I was very kindly introduced, my name is Zeenat. I'm the Chief Academic Officer at Beyond School. Thank you so much for taking this time, and I promise to not take too much of it on this Saturday morning. What I want to take you through is a little bit about what the Trinity and Beyond School program kind of aims to do, so that you just have a little bit of an understanding of what that is. I think speaking basically forms in a sense for all of us, right? It's literally how first impressions are made. When you walk into anything, a gathering, a meeting, or whatever, it's literally when the person opens their mouth, and by then people have decided something about what this person will be like, or whether they'd want to listen to the person, and this just becomes important. So we've created a program to see that children are actually able to do this. Let me take you through a little bit. And towards the end, feel free to populate your chat box. I will try to answer as many questions to the best of my abilities. We should be roughly about another 20-25 minutes, okay? So for me, broadly, when I think of communication, students, I think of communication for adults and children together. I think of a few things that are really, really important in my opinion. One is the child or the adult's ability to use the right words, right? To be able to actually be able to emote in a way that they feel good about, or in a way that is kind of good for them, which also makes them more articulate. Like, who is an articulate person really? Someone who can be able to describe their opinions, their thoughts, their feelings in the best possible way, that the other person is not confused at all as to what they're saying. They're actually able to relate to that and understand how that kind of goes ahead. So that's really, really important. When that happens, children also tend to become more confident, right, in what they're able to say and how they're able to say it, and in whatever platform or forum they are asked to actually speak. Two more important things to me here with the last two that you see on your screen, right? So a strategic thinker, so someone who's actually able to construct what a conversation or what a piece of communication needs to be. Like, what should I say first? What kind of comes in the middle? What happens after that? And just an ability to kind of do that. And again, being an extemporizer is so important, right? We don't always get a chance to prep for what we're going to say. Sometimes it's literally a question is asked, and in the spur of the moment, you actually have to be able to give your thought or opinion or whatever on it. You may not always get a chance to plan that. So how do you actually end up kind of doing all of these things? And that's what Trinity looks for as well. So who is Trinity really, or what is Trinity? Trinity College London is this 150-year-old institute that basically functions out of the UK. What they do is they have exams for communication. So how do children communicate? And these are then certified by them using their examiners, etc. It's one of the best oral examinations that I have found, where there is actually emphasis on how a child speaks and not so much on the written word, because the idea is that if the child is able to speak really well, it is going to flow through in other forms of communication, right? Be it written, be it digital, whatever else it is, because it starts with what you're saying and how you're saying it. And that's kind of what Trinity does. How they do the exam is very interesting as well. So basically, the child will come in, there will be an examiner that's from Britain, who will basically be asking the child to perform 3 or 5 tasks. These exams are usually also conducted online. And these tasks could be different, right? It could be, say, hey, pitch for like a social cause that you want. Or if you had to convince me about this argument, how would you convince me? Or take an excerpt from a play and perform that. Or, hey, if this was a character that you needed to do voice artistry for, how would you go about and do that? So there are different things that basically would happen, that they would get the child to do, and then the child will actually be kind of graded at different levels. Levels 6, 7, and 8 in Trinity are their secondary and their higher levels. These a scoring in these levels also helps children who want to go abroad to study in the future. So, for example, it will actually affect their UCAS scores. So, whatever they get, whether that is a distinction, a merit, or even a pass, they get different scorings based on that. And every level of exam that they get, they actually get an additional score that becomes a part of their UCAS score. Broadly, this is how we recommend that a child from a certain grade and what Trinity level exam they should give. So what we're saying is grades 5 and 6 should give level 6, grade 7 should give level 7, and grades 8 and up should basically give level 8. Level 8 is considered to be the toughest Trinity exam that there is. So it's like the end of the level. There is no level 9, 10, 11. It ends at level 8. And my suggestion would always be that sometimes for children who have not done this before, better to start from level 6, because it will allow for one, your UCAS scores to keep increasing because you've given each level, and also because level 8 as an exam is intimidating. Like, for example, if I have never done a Trinity exam before, I could give level 8 even at my age. So that's kind of how the level 8 exam is kind of put together as well. Yeah. So what does Beyond School do to ensure children do well in this exam? And not just this exam, but this whole ability of being able to speak in different contexts, do different things. How do we actually ensure that this is something that's happening? So there are a couple of things that this program offers which will help children kind of do better. One is obviously their ability to attend a live class where they'll actually have a teacher. It will be a 1:8 class where there's a teacher, and the teacher will actually help the child do learn whatever those pieces that they need to learn at that point of time. Let me take you through it each step by step, and then come to the goal, which is creating these portfolios, which is what Trinity asks for as well, and how this kind of benefits, right? So you will get access to Beyond School's live portal. Like I said, these classes are online. And you go into that, you join a class, and you'll actually get a chance to sit with a teacher, with a group of kids, and learn something. That's how the classes kind of look like. At the end of each class, what you will also get is a compendium. A compendium will be something that's available through you, where you see your live classes in itself. This is what a compendium will look like. It will basically give you the name of the topic that the child has studied for that day. It'll give you a summary of everything that was actually done in the class, so that it's a ready reckoner for even later. So if you've forgotten something afterwards, you want to come back, there's an ability to do that. And lastly, there will actually be a task that the child has to do before the next lesson. The whole idea of this is that as the child kind of does these tasks, he gets prepared to kind of do a portfolio as well. Now, in all of this, something that we also consider important is a child's ability to increase vocabulary, right? And vocabulary is one of those things, like while it's very boring to kind of have to learn, there's no choice but to learn it, because that is what will help articulation and confidence and all of those other things that we were kind of talking about. This is what we have created and what your child will have access to. So there'll be a word repository with all of these lists that are taken from, the spell bees list of so many words that children at a certain age need to be able to do. And we've also gamified this so that children actually want to come in often and play, so that these words go from their short-term to their long-term memory. And as that happens, they actually get better at being able to use these words in usage. So natural language versus a word that you know of but can't use. all of this will kind of lead to them actually being able to create their own portfolios. I want to show you a couple here, so that you can get an idea of what your child will have created during this course. So this is a child is a grade 6 student who's basically doing voice artistry. And as she does this, she has basically chosen Peppa Pig as the character that she wants to voice. And then you can see that she's played with tone, with mood, with articulation, with diction to kind of get the voice right. What this does is it helps children actually be able to use these techniques when they're speaking also. I'll just give you a short glimpse of what this looks like.
Peppa Pig. This is my little brother George. And this is Mommy Pig. And this is Daddy Pig. I love to play in muddy puddles. I also love my daddy. Say hi, Daddy. Hello.
So what she's done is try to give different voices as she has. So, the level of the snorts goes from a little bit soft to it goes loud as she tries to describe a mother character versus a father character. And these are things that children then end up taking away, right? To be actually able to use in real life situations as well. This is another child. This is grade 7 or grade 8, if I'm not wrong. And what he's done is he's taken an excerpt from a play where he's played both parts and kind of given his view on how he saw this coming alive.
Sir, a prisoner just broke out from a cell. What? How did this happen? Sir, I accidentally fell asleep. You fool! Are we paying you to sleep? Come on, let's go clean up your mess now.
So this is a portfolio that this child would have submitted at the end of a session on just characters and understanding character, emotions, etc., better to be able to give them voice and articulate them. And also an analysis on why he would have picked this necessarily. So at the end of this, what would happen is a child would basically upload a portfolio. So your child in the program would upload one. As soon as the portfolio is uploaded, we'll have a teacher who would actually grade the child so that you also have a report card saying that how is the child done, and this will be available to you as well. So if we were to see, for example, for Sarang and his performance, there is a teacher who has sat and who has actually graded them on each of these parameters, saying what he can do better, what he has done very well, given him a total score, so that Sarang knows how he is doing on performance of literary and prose, and that he can get better before the next mock test.
Sir,
what's a mock test? So a mock test is literally like just exactly how the Trinity exam is. It's conducted in the same way. Child comes in, actually does a couple of, say 2 to 3 performance tasks. The teacher asks questions, gives them grades, and this is a report card that you would see. So between the portfolios and the mock tasks, we believe the children actually get really, really good at being able to do these certain things, which in turn help them just be able to perform so much better. In a nutshell, what would this look like based on which level based on the grade your child is in? The course will have about between 36 to 48 lessons. They'll have 3 to 6 progress reports that you will keep getting to see that how your child is actually doing better. There are 3 mock Trinity exams that are part of this. The compendiums that I showed you earlier will be released after every class, so you always have that reference material. There are about 6 to 9 digital portfolios, again, based on which level your child is in. It's a 1:8 live online class. And even if you choose to not do the Trinity exam, Beyond School will be providing an honors certification for having completed this course, along with obviously the portfolios and the grading that the child will have created. What I'm going to do now is 2 things. I'm going to answer questions. So if you can start sending those or putting those on the chat box. Also, in the description of this of the live video, you will see a link where you can actually access the link and pick a batch for your child. Like I said, the first 8 sessions are from CP Goenka, which are complimentary to you all. So for you to ensure that you get a slot and time of your preference, do ensure that you fill up this form so that we're able to come back to you with. And like I said, in the interim, I'll also take as many questions as possible. I'll be looking at my phone because I can't see the questions here, but I will ensure that I asked as many as possible. Okay, I am going to take this to just letting you know what kind of happens next. So once you enroll, there will be an access to the live and practice portals. There will be 8 classes that you kind of commence from. And then you have your portfolio and report card that will be given to you at a PTM in the seventh session. So with that, I am going to call this session closed. Let me know if there are, is there anything else that I could answer?
Okay, Venus, we can put an end to the session.
Yeah, sure. I'll just exit, yeah?
Ms. Zeenat, thank you so much for the session. I'm sure it was very informative, and given the fact that we'll get some questions or some queries, we'll definitely get back to you on it. I think other than that, we are all very clear about all the information you shared. Thank you so much for making our Saturday useful for us.
Thank you.
I think we can now
Thank you,
call
ma'am.
this session off. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.